Hey everyone, I'm Marianne Mitchell, creator of Whole Artist Mastery, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I talk about developing your inner artistic voice, making compelling work that's uniquely yours, and showing up in the world as a whole artist. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the many ways you can get in touch with your inner expression, your inner authentic voice through investigative drawing. Investigative drawing, for those of you who have done any art classes or been to art school, is really contour drawing. It's when you are looking at something without looking down at the paper and without lifting your pencil off the page. So you're making one continuous line. But I call it investigative drawing because I have found that through this kind of drawing, the lines that you make are delineating your inner energy. It's like they're recording your inner energy and how that comes out and how your eye and your hand traverse the thing that you're looking at. Or if you're doing it with your eyes closed, really having a direct line to that deep well of emotional, intuitive expression that the line then reveals. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So here's what you need to get started. I like most a sketchbook with a wire bound either at the top or on the side that has a hard cover that you can flip over and really easily. It has very nice paper. This particular brand I actually found on Amazon, and it is just plain old sketchbook. It's 9 by 12 inches, 22.9 centimeters by 30.5 centimeters. There are 100 sheets. There's a lot of paper in here to work with. So, and the next thing that you need are either 3B, 4B, or 6B pencil. I happen to have a 6B and a 3B. I am without a pencil sharpener, so I have both of these because I might wear the lead down pretty quickly here. I'm going to start off by making a border around the page, and I am going to look at this, but it will be a continuous line drawing, and I start about, I don't know, a quarter to a half inch in from the edge. And the reason I do this while I'm looking at it is it gives me a visual as well as a physical memory by actually drawing this of approximately how much space I have on the page, like that. So that's the only drawing I'm going to make now where I'm actually looking down. The still life that I've shown you is what I'm looking at now to draw. And these drawings should be no more than a minute, somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute. So without actually timing myself, I'm just going to approximate, which is something I'm actually pretty good at, approximating time. So I'm picking a place in the three objects, somewhere in the three objects and the relationship between them to start. And I'm going to start at the top of the rounded candle holder. So here we go. I'm looking down to see where I'm starting, and here I go. So I'm going around the ellipse of the glass candle holder and down and around. I'm lightening the touch of my pencil as I go around the rounded part of the glass because it's lighter. And then I'm coming down, going around the candle here, down. The wood is a bit of a darker and heavier material, so I'm naturally making the line stronger. Now I'm coming across to the coasters that are rectangles, that are actually square, and they're askew, so I'm making askew lines here. I know that this looks nothing like what I'm actually looking at, but that's okay because I'm just traversing around. Now I'm up by the brushes that are in their cleaning solution, which is encouraging my line to go up and down, over, and coming back down to the ellipse of this glass jar, and down and around, and I'm going to stop there. Huh. You never know what you're going to get. I thought I was way over here. But, you know, you can kind of see what I'm looking at, and you can see how I have created negative shapes out of the space that I've been drawing, as well as a positive shape or positive shapes of the things that I am drawing. So there's a relationship between positive and negative shapes here, which I find interesting. And the whole page is considered, even though I thought I was closer over here, this is still like a shape in the whole composition. So, moving on, I'm now going to draw what I see out my window, which you have had a little picture of. It's a beautiful window pane in my 18th century or 19th century farmhouse, and looking out to the late spring lush green. And I'm actually going to make this a rectangle, or maybe I won't make it a rectangle. I'm going to keep it well, it is already a rectangle. I'm not going to make it vertical. I'm going to keep it horizontal, just to be consistent here. So I'm making my line, continuous line drawing as a border around it. I sort of didn't have an awareness of that in my last one, of how much space I had. All right, so I'm starting in the middle here with the tree trunk, which is the widest thing in my view. And there's a lot of foliage, a lot of green leaves, not very many shapes. So my hand is just, you know, capturing some of the small leaves, capturing the large mass of leaves. There's a branch coming down this way. Now there's some weeds. I don't think they're actually weeds. Oh, there's part of the fence there. So I'm coming over here to draw some of part of the post of the fence that goes this way, and there's some wiring that makes little squares. So I'm making little squares here. Again, I have not looked down at all. I have no idea what it looks like. But my eye is guiding my hand. And again, the pressure in my line is being guided by the texture, the things, the nature of the things that I'm drawing. So now I'm drawing the grass, which has grown quite tall because we have decided to stop mowing certain areas of the lawn. So it's very feathery, so my line has gotten very lightweight. And I'm going to stop there. Again, it's completely different than what I expected to see. But I've learned that expectations are planned disappointments, as one of the people who works with me has shared that wonderful little piece of wisdom. And so the negative space appears to be more space in this as opposed to a shape, although you could consider this one large shape surrounding the activity in the middle. What I find interesting is that the other one, the shape of the brushes is very similar to the shape of the grasses here. Well, not similar, but there's, you know, my lines have a similar kind of up and down with these curves and broken curves and Here I've got that going on here, and there is somewhat of a similarity there. One straight heavy line, which is capturing the tree trunk, and there we go. So how does this tell me what my voice is? Well, it begins to give me an understanding of how I orchestrate composition without thinking about it, that I am someone who incorporates the whole picture, that some people who do this, they've got this tiny little drawing in the middle and the rest is open space. I have been aware of trying to use the entire rectangle that I drew, and in doing so, I've created a very dynamic relationship between the negative shapes or space, the negative space, which has become negative shapes, and the positive shapes that's been created from the line. And some of these shapes show up in my paintings, especially in Reckless Abandon. My natural way of moving a brush often looks a bit like this in Reckless Abandon. In this one, again, I actually find the negative shapes more compelling in this one. There's really a nice play between the positive shape being drawn and the negative space. I will incidentally be doing a whole YouTube on the relationship of positive shapes and negative space and negative shapes. So stay tuned for that at some point. And so now what I'm going to do is actually sign my name, because you can see how your signature and the lines that are in your signature often relate to the lines that you make in these drawings. So here we go. Look at that. There's a lot of up and down. There's a lot of up and down here. Obviously, I'm drawing something that's up and down, but these kinds of loops that I've made are somewhat similar to these loops. And I'll do it again over here. Flip this over. Sign my name. And again, you can see some similarity in the nature of the lines, both in my signature and in my drawing. It's often true that everybody's signature is completely different. That's a truism. But it's often true that the nature of their signature shows up in their line drawing. So it just provides some information about how you naturally draw, what your line is like, and how you create shapes without really thinking about it. So I've just introduced you to investigative drawing, one of the tools that allows you to understand what's going on inside you and how that comes out in your natural, authentic voice. So I hope this was helpful. If so, please like the YouTube channel. Share your comments down below about your experience doing this kind of drawing. What have you learned about yourself? And then head on over to the Whole Artist Mastery website, where if you sign up and subscribe, you will get invitations to Wham Wednesday, which is a monthly discussion group for the Whole Artist Mastery community. You will also get a free PDF booklet, which has actually a lot of other ways to help you uncover what your true expression is, what your core expression is. And a bunch of other goodies, online classes. You can sign up for a complimentary conversation if you're curious about what a mentorship is like. You can tell me your story in that conversation, and then I share with you how I work with people. So I hope to see you. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.